Hello everyone, welcome to MONII. Thank you so much for joining us on our last MONII of 2020. Can you imagine? I cannot believe that we started 2 months ago, and today we're going to have our fifth guest and another beautiful story that we have for you today. So I'm so grateful and thankful to all my team, Eve and Tanya, and to our guests so far, and to you guys for supporting us and for being part of our community now. With all this COVID happening all around the world, can you imagine? We're just here to try to bring and see the world with bright eyes and to give you some inspiration, really. So let's give a few minutes. Wow, Natalie, you're here now. So let's give a few minutes for more people to actually join us. And Alison Burton from Muses in our camera. So I'm just giving a little bit of introduction. Hello, ladies. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic. I'm just saying a little bit more. I want to just say thank you as well to our previous guest, Susana Antonio, that from Portugal. She was here last time and she had an inspiration talk as well. So thank you to her as well. And I want to start really to tell our audience today to imagine going to a shop where actually be able to choose a beautiful fairy or angel of color for our Christmas tree, right? Or actually, what about talking to and taking our kids to meet a different Father Christmas? So that is, I want to welcome Alice and Natalie to talk more about that. I want to really make sure that we will listen to everything they have to say about this. But I want to start. How are you guys today? Because all this COVID happening all around the world, we all just working from home and doing different things. I want to really find out, first of all, how are you?
We are tired, but
Exhausted.
but we're good. We are a support bubble and a work bubble, so that's why we're able to be in the same room. Our children go to the same school, and so we're often having to pick each other's child up and stuff, and so we support each other. But yes, we are women in business, but we are absolutely exhausted. We've just had the most amazing 3 months.
Yeah.
Since we opened our shop. We opened our shop in October. Um, and it's just been absolutely crazy. I mean, we started last year in December. Actually, October last year was our first time, and it was great. And then this year, obviously, because of Black Lives Matter, it's just gone from strength to strength to strength,
Yeah.
and we are overwhelmed. There's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but also a lot of laughter and a
Yeah.
lot of happiness along the way.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I'm so pleased for that because I think after all these sad news about COVID, there is always a light and some kind of actually hope, right? And
Yeah.
that bring you some inspiration, some really hope for your business as well. Before we go into that, I'm really curious about really find out more about yourselves and what you do for a living, both of you, and your background, just to give a little bit before we go into that, your project.
Okay, so I work as a recruitment consultant.
Alison, so just say Alison, you Alison, make
Sorry,
sure
I'm
people know.
Alison, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Co-founder at March Muses. So I work as a recruitment consultant and I work within the pharmaceutical industry. So it's been a very, very busy year. Probably one of the busiest, to be fair. A lot of companies slowed down their work during this year due to the pandemic, but it's just been crazy for us. I work from home anyway, so I've been working from home for the last 2 years. And it's just a lot to juggle. It really is. I'm a single parent as well. My job is very challenging, very demanding. I cover lots of different countries, so I'm working in different time zones, different currencies.
Wow. You're
And
based
then
in
we
London, right?
based in London as well, yeah. And
Yeah.
then alongside that, we have our amazing business. And when we launched last year, we only had 6 products. Now we have over 20.
Wow.
So
I
it's
can't
been
wait to
incredibly
see.
busy.
I want to make sure people that are actually watching this to stay till the end because they have really big surprise for us. They're going to show us their products and more about it is coming. So, and what about you, Natalie? Tell us
Yes,
more.
so I'm Natalie. I'm a mum of two divas.
Beautiful.
They're 6 and 9, going on 18 and 21. I trained as an actress, so I went to the Brit School of Performing Arts, the same school as like Adele and Amy Winehouse and all these amazing
Wow.
artists. And I trained in musical theatre and in acting, and I very much still do that. So I do a lot of like, I've done lots of adverts, I've done theatre, lots of Shakespeare and stuff. But
Lovely.
obviously, acting is feast or famine. It's either all or nothing. And so you have to have your fingers in lots of different pies. So as well as acting, I also work as a brand manager for one of the biggest brands in the world. I won't necessarily say the name, but we give wings to
Oh,
people and
can you
their
not tell
ideas.
us? Can you not tell us the name? We are curious now.
Well, I work for Red Bull, so it's just
Fantastic.
it's a great brand to work for. And also, yeah, so co-founder of March Muses, bringing Christmas decorations of colour to a home near you.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And can I just say, I'm so grateful because we need so many more positive role models in our society, ladies. This is what we need. We need to make sure we shout out there and say, hey, we have such a cool jobs. We are fantastic and we are, can empower people. And how did you two meet each other?
Well, we've
Because I'm
actually
curious. I'm curious before I go into your part, I want to find out more.
We are actually family friends. So our
Oh,
parents grew up together. There's actually a big age gap between Alison and I, although you wouldn't even notice.
no,
But
I
there's
can't
actually
notice.
there's 10 years between us.
Wow,
And
can't see
so
it.
when I was a baby, Alison used to carry me, and
Oh,
and then we obviously life goes on, and then we reconnected when we had our daughters at the same time. So we had our daughters 9 years ago, and we were just pregnant at the same time, and so we do the baby clubs together,
Keep
um,
each other sane.
keep each other safe. We go to
so
Nando's,
good.
have some food, and then we started talking about brainstorming some ideas of what as a mum, when you do have a baby, you tend to sometimes think, okay, what can I do in terms of work? Because going back to a 9 to 5 sometimes is not the option for a lot of people. Sometimes some people have no
Absolutely.
choice. But if you do have a bit of a choice, and you want to have a more flexible working pattern, so we started to think up lots of different ideas of stuff that we could either do from home or that was more flexible. She was in recruitment, I was in theatre, and so we actually started off with just doing careers workshops
In
in
schools.
schools,
Oh, I see.
where we
Lovely.
would do like drama workshops in schools based on career development
Money
skills,
management.
money management,
Fantastic.
and
In
like
London schools, in
all
Yeah,
different
all
all
over.
boroughs.
over the
All over.
whole of the UK. So we would travel
That's
all over the
beautiful.
UK
Yeah.
up to Liverpool and
Yeah.
So do you still
like
doing that as well at the same time?
no,
No.
Not this year.
Too
we had
busy for that.
it's
We had cancellations because of COVID.
yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's true. I
So
forgot about that. That's true,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
exactly, but we had also calmed down that anyway, as because we started a new venture. So 5 years ago we started a Christmas venture where Christmas elves would come and knock on your door and find out if you've been naughty or nice. So it's like an elf visit at
Wow.
home,
Yeah, yeah.
which was fantastic, and we did that for 5 years.
It's really, really popular.
It was so popular, but it was
Mm.
so popular and so draining and so tiring. And then last year, when we launched our Christmas decorations of colour, we
We're
did
doing
them
both.
both at the same time.
Wow.
And we knew that we were so close to burnout that this year we had to make a decision. And actually, COVID made that decision for us.
Yeah.
And we weren't
Absolutely.
able to do that business. And thank God that we just took a moment, because, we want to do everything. We want to take over the world, but you can't do everything. And
Yeah.
so it was a blessing in disguise that we parked that idea, even though it was successful. We did it for 5 years, and that we moved
Wow.
on to the Christmas decorations of colour.
Fantastic. So that is
And
where
also,
March. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, just to add, and it's so good, like for anyone who's listening, that you do have different streams of income. Because if we hadn't started March Muses and we were just relying on the schools and the elf visits, we'd have no business this year.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
luckily we did have the other business as a backup, which is not just
Absolutely.
a backup now, it's right at the forefront.
Absolutely. I'm very curious about why you have decided to choose the name March Muses because I'm really curious because I know I've read a lot about it and I know a little bit, but I know the people that are watching us, they don't know very much about. So how you two decided, let's call March Muses. Gone.
It wasn't easy. We went through lots and lots of different names. And the thing is that we wanted to make sure that it was a name that wasn't just about Christmas. And also, it just wasn't about being black, because at the beginning, we didn't know what we were going to completely do. We knew that we wanted to do Black Christmas decorations, but we didn't want to be pigeonholed into just Black Christmas decorations and just doing it that's black. And so we decided to find a name that was related to us a bit more, so that we could branch out and do almost anything, which we are going to do.
Lovely.
And so Alison and I were both born in March. And so we thought, okay, well, that's the link already. And Muse is to be inspired. And these decorations are inspired by our children. They're inspired by other black people. We even name all of our decorations named after influential or inspirational black person to us, who's also
Fantastic.
born in March.
Wow. So
So
here we are,
it's-
people watching us. If
Yeah.
you are from March, you're born in March. So here we are. That's good. You need to join the campaign.
Yeah, it just gave us some chance to be able to expand. You know, we had lots of ideas like black box or like black Christmas or
Yeah.
true colors and stuff, but they all felt not quite right and had nothing to do with us. We are very much this brand,
Yeah.
and so we wanted to make sure that we were always connected.
Absolutely. So March Muses is all about Christmas decorations of color, and you are very much focused in UK, right? You want to say anything more about that project at
I
this point?
mean,
we're based in the UK, but we ship worldwide.
Exactly.
So,
So, guys, you are watching.
yeah,
You make sure
we've had-
after this you're going to check their website and
we've
see what
we've
you
had
got.
orders, Australia, the whole of Europe, America, Canada. So yeah,
That's
the word
fantastic.
is spreading, which is amazing.
That's amazing. I have a very focused question really for Natalie. Natalie, I read something about it. It's very difficult to raise daughters of color in UK. Okay, and I know that for a fact that is really true. And I want to hear more about your story, about why you said that. Is there anything that you actually have something to tell us, a story, or anything that you actually, any fear you had to overcome, you know, to tell us about that?
Absolutely. It's incredibly difficult to raise black children in the UK, around the world, not just the UK, but around the world. You know, and raising daughters who are proud and who want to do so much. We always want to encourage our daughters and to do whatever they want to do. But it's always a battle. You know, even, you know, we celebrate Black History Month in October. And unfortunately, a lot of our schools, when we talk about black history, they only talk about racism, and they talk about
Slavery.
And there's so much to black history that has nothing to do with that. And I've had to actually call out our school a few times, because my daughter came home and she was really upset because she'd watched a video about racism, and it was quite a graphic video. And I thought, why are we showing this in Black History Month? Black History Month is a time to propel. It's a time to uplift. It's a time to celebrate. We celebrate a lot of American Black history as well. We talk a lot about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, all fantastic pioneers and fantastic black muses, black inspiration. But Black British, it's almost like we're not in that narrative. And so it's really important to have Black British history, so our children who are born in England know exactly what other black icons came before them in the UK, not just in America. And so it's an ongoing fight. It doesn't end. It's an ongoing fight. Even in the things that they watch on TV, I'm always making sure that they're watching diverse programs. And I'm not saying that they're not allowed to watch anything that doesn't have a black face in it, but it's just about integrating it. There's room for everyone.
For everyone,
which is what we always talk about with our decorations. It's not about getting rid of white decorations and white fairies. No, it's adding. There's room for everyone on the tree.
Yeah. Absolutely, because can you imagine, how did you feel, Natalie, when actually your daughter said to you that, Mommy, there is no actually other angels of color here to put in my Christmas tree? How did you feel that?
How
you feel?
I was shocked because I didn't even notice it. And I think that's what a lot of people come up to us and they say, you know, I'd never even noticed that there weren't any black Christmas decorations. And I'm the same. I'm 37, and I didn't notice it until I started to do my own traditions. And my mum was quite good. So my mum used to go to America quite a lot and Disneyland. And so she would always bring back little black fairies and stuff. So that I just thought they were always going to be around. And it wasn't until I started to look and search for them on Amazon, on Etsy, on eBay, on looked at all these big department stores, and I could not find one. So we had to actually use a black Barbie doll at the top of the tree because that was the only black representation I had that year. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do this next year. We're going to make sure that we've got black Christmas decorations.
Wow, wow. And so after that, you guys started to design, create. How did you do it? How did you do that after?
I mean, it wasn't easy. We began designing because we kind of know what we like. We know what the look that we're looking for, and so obviously we had other suppliers we used to work with our other business, so we worked closely with them to design the pieces that we liked, with a strong focus on skin tone, the hair, the facial features. Because when we were searching for decorations, I did find one, but it was a white angel that had been painted black. So it wasn't very authentic. It wasn't true representation of a person of colour.
Yeah.
And so we went about the designing, had samples sent over, and even just by looking at the samples, we shared them with our children and close friends and family, and they were like, wow, you guys are really onto something here.
You see?
And so that inspired us even more to think, actually, it's not just us having a harebrained idea. There is a real true appetite for this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we got the samples over, shipments arrived, and then we began selling.
Wow, that's amazing. It's beautiful because I can just share a moment here with you guys because I'm mixed race, my background is Angolan Portuguese. And I know for a fact we don't see many mixed race stuff around as well, even for my daughter to look up to and to actually, there is really a need for what you guys doing. So well done, guys. It's amazing. What about the products nowadays are all mainstream and now not representative, isn't it, of global diversity, right? So as you said, how does you think this impact the way children see themselves?
Oh, absolutely. The fact that my daughters thought that angels were only white and that they couldn't be an angel because they're only like that's ridiculous, of course.
Yeah.
And we're talking about I say fictional because no one's actually really seen an angel. We're talking about fictional characters. We only go by what we know. So angels, Santa Claus,
Fairies.
Christmas, fairies, Jesus.
Yeah.
We're having to go on like what we know. So if we're really to look in history, Jesus would be brown.
Yeah.
Anyway, if we were to really look at history, Santa
Santa
Claus would be
was
brown.
brown.
It's only Coca-Cola who, amazing as Coca-Cola is, they're the ones who turned Santa Claus into this white guy with rosy cheeks, to Disneyfy it, if we, to say the least. And then when we talk about angels, there's nothing that says they're black, white, orange, pink, blue. Like nothing tells us what color they are.
Absolutely.
Apart from just whoever just made that decision that angels were going to be white. So
Absolutely.
it's so important that my children see themselves in everything that they do.
Yeah.
They see themselves represented as angels on the tree, so that these images become normal, not novelty.
Yeah.
And it's important not just for my black children, but it's important for white children as well to see that these angels can be black or Santa Claus can be black, so that they are born and they grow up anti-racist. And that's what we talk about when we look at how to raise anti-racist children. You put these images in front of them so that it's normal for them, and they're going to be the future leaders. They are our future government, our future CEOs, our future thought leaders. And if you raise them right, we are not going to have this conversation in 30 years' time because they have been brought up in a way to see that colour does exist.
Exactly.
You can't say you don't see colour. Colour does exist, but it's not a factor to stop anyone.
Yeah.
Exactly. And can I just say, we just so much more than actually this really physique and what we have in our bodies, in our face. We have this beautiful light inside that we should be able to inspire and do and create anything we want to do. So people should not see us just because what you wear, what your color scheme, and decide that way. So we have so much more, isn't it?
So much more, and we've been talking about this for centuries and years.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is probably the first time that and I think it is due to COVID. I think it's due to us being at home, being plugged in a lot more, that people are actually really taking it more seriously and taking a stand as to how they raise their children in a more anti-racist way.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that we've taken a turn, and in 30 years' time, we're not going to be having this conversation.
Absolutely. What would you say to someone that is trying to do exactly the same thing as yourselves, but still some fears there? And how really do you think that they can achieve and to be where you are today? What do you think
in terms of business?
Yeah, in terms of business, definitely. And other entrepreneurs that probably they are black or other cultures and they have still that fear to overcome came, you know, different because of the color or because of different things? What would you say if they still have that fear to just be brave and bold like you guys are? Yeah,
I think for me, I would say feel the fear and do it anyway.
absolutely
Yeah.
love that. It's
Because
so good.
I think it's also important to do something that you're really passionate about as well. Don't just jump on something that you see somebody else doing and think you're going to have the same success. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights, a lot of agreements and disagreements,
Oh yes,
but
of
you come together because you have the same passion. If you're doing it with somebody else, if you share the same passion, then you're always aiming for the same end goal.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I definitely feel like it's you know, find a gap in the market as well. There's not every idea has been made, you know,
Yeah.
and there's always a variation of an idea. I always think about when Uber came along, and I was like, well, why do we need Uber? We've got taxis, you know.
Absolutely, I remember all
That's
that.
really easy. Like, why would we need an Uber? Then you realize, it's a way of getting a taxi in a completely different. You're like, okay. So there's always different variations of an idea that you can do, but it's about finding the gap and finding what you might need and having a good brand story. I think people really love March Muses, not because it's just the black decorations, but they love our story and they see that we are very much embedded in it. Our children are very much embedded in it, and that's what they buy into because they're,
Absolutely.
you know, shoes. There's 1,000 shoe shops out there, but you go to certain ones because you like their brand and you like their story and you like the way it feels. So
Absolutely.
it's not to be like, you know, don't be too scared because everything is an oversaturated market. Christmas is the most
Yeah.
oversaturated market that I've ever experienced. But if you can find an in, then it's plentiful and there's room for everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, who are your role models, ladies?
Oh,
Oh.
so many.
There are so many because there role models for me come in all forms. So I have role models who are members of my family, like women who are in business, my mum, obviously, people who are hardworking, people who are honest. I don't have necessarily like celebrity role models per se, but I like what people stand for. And so if you're doing something that's true and authentic, and it's long lasting, then I'm always going to be inspired by that. So I couldn't
Um,
say one individual person.
Yeah,
right.
and it's
And
just
you know,
any woman in business because we're bosses and especially mothers. You know, we have to really, you know, think outside the box a lot of the time, and we have to do like a lot of things all at once,
And
and
firefighting.
and firefighting
so true.
while doing it. So it's yeah. And my mum is one of my biggest role models. She works
Oops.
very hard with us. Here's one of them.
Hello,
Say
beautiful.
hi.
Hello.
This
Nice
is
to see
this is
you.
Olivia. She's also a March born baby, and so we named one of our decorations Olivia, just like her, and she very much loves that one.
Wow. I think it's time for you to show me some of the March Muses.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
come
yeah.
on, decorations. I want to see. I want to see what you've got in there.
So we've got quite a few.
We have a
Oh, come
number.
on.
So this is one of
Wow.
our Santa Claus.
That's
Um,
beautiful, Santa. Yes.
he's a pop's
Beautiful.
chimney.
Um,
Fantastic. Wow. So they
and
have names, you said. So what is the
Yeah.
name of these ones?
this one's called John, named after John Boyega, who is
Wow.
a March born baby, so the Star Wars British actor. So we absolutely love him.
Fantastic.
What else do we have here? Oh,
Do you guys get support of all these people that you name your angels or fairies on?
not
Do
yet.
they? Yeah,
They
they
don't even
really
know
need.
we exist. They
Oh
don't even
my
know we
God! I
exist.
think after money, they have to know that you
Exactly.
exist for sure.
This beautiful one, her name is Tessa.
That's beautiful.
And Tessa is a UK athlete, Tessa Sanderson, who is
Yes.
born in March.
Wow,
And
fantastic.
she comes in a different color dress. Olivia is the lighter skinned version, like you were saying about mixed race. So we do
Yeah,
have some of our figurines that are lighter skinned.
good, good, because we need some figures as well, please, girls. We need that.
So I don't know if you can see this one. So this one has a little
Yeah,
baby
the baby
inside.
inside. Uh-huh.
And so this is for our sleeping babies. So our babies
Oh.
who aren't here with us today. And a very good friend of mine, she wanted a decoration that could represent her two children that she miscarried.
Oh.
And when she was searching, she could find baby angels, but again, They were all white.
Yes.
And so she had nothing to represent her babies. And so she actually helped us design this. And
That's
I
beautiful.
don't know if you can see. So he's sleeping
Yeah, you
on
got more clothes. Yeah.
sleeping on
Yeah.
a bed of
Baby
feathers
them.
with a halo, and it's for
That's
baby
beautiful.
Alison, which was the name of her child, who was going to be born in March as well. So it's just all these things that really do come into play here. And also we partnered up with a baby loss charity in the UK,
Oh,
and a
lovely.
percentage of the proceeds goes to them to help with baby loss and why these babies are passing away. So they do really
Well
really
done,
good
ladies.
work.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing work. Fantastic.
And
Wow.
our piece de resistance
Yeah.
is our tree topper, Mariah,
That's
named after the
beautiful.
Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey.
Carrie, oh my God, Mariah Carey, you have to have this beautiful angel in your tree.
And
Come
Mariah
on.
she's a March born baby. Who knew she was a March
Wow.
born
I
baby?
didn't know that. That's cool.
Exactly. So this is Mariah. She comes in silver and she comes in gold.
That's beautiful.
And it's our first tree
It was our
topper.
very first attempt at a tree topper. And
Beautiful.
my goodness, it sold out within like
Hours.
3 hours.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because can I just say something to you? I went to your website. I wanted to buy actually a beautiful angel that I saw there. It's a yellow one. Do you have that one?
Sienna.
A sienna. I love it. I want it. And then it was
So-
like out of stock. Out of stock. So I couldn't do that.
Yeah, but
She
don't
flew
worry.
off.
We have got more. We're going to do a really nice
will.
January sale
Oh,
so that
good.
people
I
can get
want
ready
to,
for
yeah.
Christmas 2021. Because
Fantastic.
we know a lot of people missed out this year, but we have to keep reminding people that we're a small business.
Absolutely.
We're not quite Selfridges or Harrods or like a big department store yet. We are very much still doing it from our homes.
Yeah.
And it's self-funded
And
as
it's
well.
self-funded. We haven't had a huge investment, so it's
Wow.
just from us.
Yeah,
and so
so-
we had to be careful. There's nothing worse than having so much stock left over that you don't know what to do with it. So we were
Yeah.
actually quite glad that they sold out, because it showed that there was a real need for it. And don't worry, there's more coming
more to
in.
come.
And January there'll be a nice sale as well. So
Fantastic. We will keep an eye on that. That's for sure. So I can just guess, what is your favorite Christmas music then?
I mean,
Well,
Mariah's up there.
Mariah's comes in there, yeah.
I mean, she's the queen of Christmas. Like November the 1st comes, and it's like it's time. We
Yeah.
know that Christmas, or December the 1st, and we know that Christmas is about to happen.
Yeah.
You hear that song, and you
Yeah,
just know that
absolutely.
Christmas. So
It's
we were
beautiful.
so proud to name this one.
Well,
after her.
Mariah, if you're going to be watching MONII soon, and when they said, you must then go and buy that beautiful angel. That's beautiful. You have to have in your top of your tree, please. Why
Please,
not?
please,
Do you know,
please
I
do.
found that, do you find as well why celebrities and famous people, they are so much out there, up here, why cannot start engaging with people like us from our community, starting to doing things that we want, make sure just bring inspiration, bring some
Yeah.
light to people, hope. Why? Tell me, what?
I think
why
it's
so difficult?
They need to know about us, in order to do that. And there are some people that we are in contact with, but that's just through like Natalie's acting background or through work, whatever, that we have some kind of connection to people. But if they don't know about you, I mean, they're all shrouded and hidden and covered by agents. And so unless you do something that's catching that agent's eye and they're
Yeah.
keeping attuned to the market, they're not going to know about us.
And I
Wow.
think what's really nice is that we have had some real great endorsements from people, like from singers in the UK, like Jamelia and comedians and stuff like that. And when we offered to be like, oh, thank you, can we send you a product free of charge? They said,
No,
no,
they want to
I
pay
want
for
to
it.
buy one.
That's
And
good.
that just, like
You know,
sometimes we see that it's on their tree and we're like, I didn't even
Yeah.
know they bought one.
You see,
and
that's
and
nice.
It's
That's
so
good.
nice, and they understand what it is to be a small business, and actually giving away free stock
Yeah.
that is
Absolutely.
costly for us. And they don't, literally, they've all been like, no, I'm going to buy one.
No,
Don't worry.
That's
I've
right.
already bought one.
Yeah.
So
And that's
to
good
me-
because it's about helping. It's about
Yeah.
helping. This is what we need, helping the community, make sure that space there. I've got a question here. Someone is asking if your products using sustainable materials.
Yeah, so they're resin. So they're all resin clay.
Okay.
Which are they're recyclable and yeah, they're
Yeah.
quite good. So yeah.
Excellent.
Definitely eco-friendly.
Excellent, because I think was Barbara was just actually asking here, and if now would you like to work with London South Bank? University. Here we are, girls. You can
Wow,
see we've
definitely.
got someone here live that is really like to work with you guys. So I'm sure
we are
after this live
We are
open.
talk,
open.
We are
Yeah,
open
woohoo!
to lots of conversations and partnerships. You know,
definitely.
we want to get this as big as possible, and there's only so
Absolutely.
much that we can do.
Yeah,
It takes a village.
yeah.
And so, you know, if people are passionate about diversity and really passionate about diversity and seeing these kind of images everywhere next year, then yeah, we
Yeah,
are
definitely.
open to that conversation.
And
Absolutely.
we tick
Go
so
ahead.
many boxes. You know, we're a small business, we're a black-owned business, we are women in business, we are a business of diversity. So we tick so many different boxes when it comes to be able to have or discuss collaborations. So we are all ears.
Wow. Tanya is asking here, do you think that we are really one step forward to, let me just see here. Sorry, guys, because it's quite difficult here on my phone. So it's about Black Lives Matter. Do you think we are now one step forward to the Black Lives
Absolutely.
Matter?
Yeah,
Absolutely. And
definitely.
it's as simple as I'll give you a really quick example. Last year, obviously, we had a lot of racism against us for the decorations, which
Yeah.
is fair enough. Lots of people are triggered. And it felt quite lonely because we would have to go back and be like, well, and have to really, you know, state our case. This year, if there was anything racist put on, we don't have to say anything because there are white people, black people who are ready to speak on our behalf.
Yeah,
And so we don't
Absolutely.
feel alone. So if anything has taught us this year about Black Lives Matter, it's given people like white people the autonomy and the confidence
to use their
to
voice.
use their privilege and to use their voice against racism. Whereas last year or the year before that or the year before that, that wasn't happening. So if there's one thing that's happened, that's it. But you know, you only have to look at TV to see that there's been a shift. There's much more black people represented in
Absolutely. We need
adverts.
more positive role
Exactly.
models,
And we just need to
everyone.
make sure that it carries on. Black is not a trend. We need to make sure that this isn't just a one-off thing. But I absolutely, George Floyd could not have died in vain. And I'd be damned if that's what happens. I'm going to make sure that we carry on moving that conversation forward. Even
Yeah,
just having this conversation with you, we weren't having this conversation last year. And
Yeah.
we've had this conversation because you've realised that there is a lack of this and it needs to be, you're using your platform and your voice. And
yeah.
if more people will do that, then we are
Yeah.
going to be moving quicker in the right direction.
Excellent. Absolutely. Girls, we are everything we need to be. Do you agree with that? Finish now. Why? What do you
Of,
think?
of course, we're everything and more.
And
Yep.
more.
Okay.
We're
Absolutely.
everything and more. No one is perfect. Everyone has good days, have bad days. I had a mini breakdown last week because there was so much going on, and to be a single mum and to be doing this business plus work
It's
plus
so
Christmas plus
difficult.
parents
Yeah.
plus everything, it's too much. So we are everything that we need to be and
And
more.
more. And it's like you said
Absolutely.
earlier about having that inner light. You know, no matter what you look like, where you're living, you know, what your circumstances may be, we all have something to offer. And so,
Absolutely.
and particularly, I know this year has been so hard, so hard for a lot of people in so many
So
different
many.
ways.
Yeah.
And just as you think you're coming to the end of it, and now here in London we have a tier 4 lockdown, can't spend Christmas with your family, you can't travel, you can't do anything. But just keep pushing it just a little bit more, just a little bit longer, and then we'll be over the hurdle.
Nothing
Absolutely.
stays the same, and that's the only
Nothing.
thing constant in life is change. So this
Absolutely.
situation will change.
Absolutely. Guys, it's amazing talking to you. I know that we just been having like 20 minutes, 25 minutes talking to each other. We just don't want to leave before you say three things that you'd like to our audience to take away today, that you'd like to really leave your inspiration story to them. Three things that you'd like to say to them.
My number one thing would be, especially if you're a mother out there, it's so easy to lose yourself in your children. Just know that if you want to do more, if you want to do business, if you want to think of on your feet and think of something else, you can. It's not
Definitely.
impossible. We are testament to that, you know, so it can be done.
I think I'd like to add to that, along the same vein, as much as doing all of these wonderful things, being a mother, a wife, a daughter, a businesswoman, an employee, take time for self-care. It is
Yes.
so important. I mean, this morning I had cucumbers on my eyes, lying in my bed,
Good.
My daughter was like, "Oh, Mum," but
She
that was
wanted
my
as well.
yeah, that was my 10 minutes. It was only 10 minutes, but it was an
Absolutely.
important thing to do. So always take care to look after yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
And gentlemen. And I think the final thing is to remember that black is not a trend, and to use your privilege, to use your platform, to use your voice to drive change.
That's beautiful.
Be the change you want to see.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure having at MONII. What we're trying to achieve is exactly that, to give voice, is to make sure we inspire with different stories every time we're here. And Merry Christmas to you and to
You
your
too.
family. And before you guys go, I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm sure that we're going to have more people watching this conversation afterwards, because I'm so, they're busy. It's Sunday. They are doing different things. And I'll see you next time, the first one at MONII, maybe in January, definitely, 2021. So see you guys later.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye.